Hello, I'm Richard Davison and I've been given the honour to present the prizes for the Dodson and Horrell Novice Championships at British Dressage's National Championships at Stoneleigh in September. And I've also been asked to give a few tips on how to ride the test. Now the test that will be ridden is Novice 37A, and I've drawn a few of the key movements out here. I haven't drawn them to scale, but they give you an idea of the lines. And I think these are the movements that it will be all too easy to lose some marks in performing them. So let's see if we can talk through the presentation so that that doesn't happen and every mark that's possible to be gained is got. Now the test starts in the trot, with normal centre line and the halt and the move off, and then you've got this nice start to the test, which is a series of turns. Now remember with the turn that the first thing is that you must always bend or flex the horse just before the turn. It's too late when you're in the middle of the turn. So practice flexing the horse a little bit before the turn and checking that when you bring in that lateral flexion that it doesn't cause the horse's legs to deviate off the curved line. On the stiff side, what can easily happen is that when you bring in the bend, the quarters can swing out, and on the bendy side of the horse, when you bend him a little bit in the neck, his front legs can go out. So now, between now and the championships, make sure that bend doesn't cause any lateral deviation. Then also the size of the turn, consider the turns of the horse to the right and the left and what suits your horse. Don't make the turns too small for the balance and the flexibility of your horse. When you're going sideways on, make sure that you show nice balance and a nice frame to the judges. Moving on then, you've got this tricky movement of the 10-metre circle followed by some medium trot. When I do a circle, I always divide it into quarters and I try to ride each quarter the same, and then I try to leave the track in a 10-metre circle half a metre past the marker that I should leave and arrive half a metre before. And then that means that you complete the circle and you've got a nice departure onto the diagonal. This diagram up here, I've tried to show what often goes wrong in riding a circle. And the first part of the circle, instead of being a quarter of a 10-metre circle, is often the quarter of a random size. In this case, it's probably a 12 or 15-metre circle, and then there's a squashing in at the last moment to the centre line. And then often the rider goes back at the marker a bit later than the marker, and that will make the medium trot steps difficult. When it comes to the medium trot, remember that you're only required, and it's a good idea to read the judges' directives here, to show some medium trot strides. So you've got plenty of time to make nice progressive transitions into the trot and a nice progressive transition back out. Skipping on then, we're going to go past the walk, but remember the walk carries double points, so that's very important. But when it comes to the key canter movements, we've got a canter transition at C, off the right rein, and then medium canter again down the long side, followed by a 20-metre circle. Now remember, these judges from behind will be checking on the straightness or the lack of it, so always ride a very small shoulder forward position, and again make the medium canter strides, transitions in and out, nice and progressive. Then on to this tricky bit in the canter, which is the short diagonal with give and retake the reins, followed by counter canter. Now, how to ride this is after the 20-metre circle, use the corner to balance the horse and keep the horse's weight back on the hind legs. Get a good line onto the short diagonal, little half halt to make sure the horse is going to stay on the hind legs when you give and retake the reins to show the judges that the horse is in self-carriage, and just be very careful when you retake the contact that you don't surprise or shock the horse, and then be tactful in how you ride this counter canter down here with the transition into trot, because if the horses are a bit excited about the atmosphere at Stoneleigh, then this is where you could easily find your horse popping in a flying change. But win or lose, I hope that you have every success at Stoneleigh, and I look forward to pinning the red rosette on your horse.